Scotty, car number 10. Man who's improving every week here at the Grove. Got a top 5 finish the last time out. Car number 10, Billy Howard. Starting third, the super sportsman driver from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. Car number 8, Rich Eichelberger. Outside of Rich in the 8D, looked good in his heat, from Biglerville, Dan Dietrich. Starting fifth, car number 19, the Creasy Sign sprinter from New Oxford, Pennsylvania, Stevie Smith Jr. Outside of Stevie, another rookie in the sprint car ranks, the 88D, the driver from Temple, Mimi DeSantis. Starting seventh, the 461, the driver from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, the Walter Dyer car, Scott Tobias. Scheduled to start eighth, and Greg Van May, who was scheduled to start eighth and looks so good in his heat, is parked at the pit exit. It looks like an adjustment there with the left rear wheel, and there's a push truck lined up behind him. Let's hope Van can get back in action. Certainly looked like one of the pre-race favorites. Scheduled to start ninth, car number 26 from Thompsontown, the Camel Express of Jim Nace. Starting 10th, the 88, the man we talked about earlier. There he is, from Linglestown, the Libby's mobile home sprinter, Maynard Yingst. Starting 11th, the man looking for 2 records tonight, car number 77 from Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, the 1984 Williams Grove track champion, Keith Kaufman. Behind Kaufman, the Keene Transport 5W from Mechanicsburg, driving a big block tonight, Randy Wolf. Randy pulling alongside of the K54, Frankie Kerr from Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Starting 14th, the 28G from Harrisburg, Joey Gravino. Alongside of Joey, the Black Bandit from New Oxford, car number 66, Steve Smith Sr. Alongside of Steve, one of our viewers here on Cable 4, the Vicky Miller number 46 from Thomasville, Randy Ruth. Starting 17th, the Busch Beer Sprinter, car number 2 from New Oxford, Steve Siegel. Alongside Steve in the 88 from Granby, Colorado, second-generation racer Dave Haight. Starting 19th, the winner of the Consolation. Watch for the Ford-powered Feder Music number 77 to move up with Barry Camp at the wheel. Alongside of Barry, car number 33, the small block racer from New Jersey, now moving into sprint cars on a full-time basis, Mike Jablonski. The white 28 on your screen from Penargil, Pennsylvania, former Grand National racer Ty Scott. Alongside of Ty, the famous Weichert's Livestock number 29, the driver from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Doug Wolfgang. Alongside of Doug in the F1, the man we talked with earlier here on Cable 4, great interview with John Marshall and French Grimes, the driver of the F1. Rounding out the field, car number 98, the young coal miner from Higgins, the Lucas Mining sprinter, Alan Klinger. Greg, we see Van May has been pushed away, and looks like the Sterner Cement number 69 is back in action.
And he got out just in time because I believe they will allow him to start in his original starting position. However, some of the cars have already crossed over. We'll have to wait and see.
I think Van is going to the rear of the field. Let's see. Maynard Yingst and Keith Kaufman have moved ahead of him. Randy Wolf has moved alongside of him. I believe Van May is going to be sent to the rear of the field.
We'll see next time around. The starter, Butch Book, will give him the sign whether or not he can start in that position. When he went by, there was no indication from the official or any movement that he should go to the rear of the field. Bruce, someone is coming out right now. We're going to find out right now if he is going to the rear. One lap sign is up. They are letting him start in his position, Bruce.
That's right. He gets his starting spot back.
You know, he just got out in time, just in time. When the one lap sign went up, he was moving on the track, so he just made it. Now, I saw a pit man run there with a wrench of some sort, perhaps just a loose bolt, so we'll wait and see. Van May, definitely a favorite to win this race. He ran so well in the heat, but Bruce, they're going to be looking for the green.
The pace car is pulling off the track, and we're going to get a start this time. Watch Van May from that 8th starting position. If the mechanical problems haven't set in, he appeared to be the fastest car on the racetrack. The green flag is out. Scotty Hawes takes the early lead into the first turn. We'll watch Van May charge from 8th.
Dan Dietrich working up high. He'll take second place from Billy Howard. And Dan Dietrich sets his sights on the mushroom farmer out of Hamburg, Scott Haas, who brings the 24-car field through turns 3 and 4 to complete lap 1.
Scotty Haas, your race leader. Dan Dietrich right on his tail. Greg, a little further back in the pack. Keith Kaufman has moved by Van May already. There you see Mimi DeSantis, Stevie Smith Jr., Scotty Haas, and Kaufman as they battle for position in the pack.
There on the inside, Steve Smith Jr., the black car number 19, moving on the inside, trying to get around Billy Howard as they go into the first turn. 3 wide, it will be Billy Howard assuming the 3rd position, Stevie Smith 4th, Mimi DeSantis 5th, and now Keith Kaufman with an inside move looking for that 5th position.
Greg, Doug Wolfgang has made a big move from his 22nd starting position. Wolfgang is halfway through the pack already, really charging in the Weicker number 29.
But right now, Scott Haas and Dan Dietrich have broke and have started to run away on this field. There you see our 2 leaders, Haas and the Ed Powell number 1, Dietrich right behind him in his own HD. We have a car high in turn 4, but no damage. And that was Van May.
Dietrich running the outside line, almost caught the fence that time, lost some ground to Scotty Haas. Now he's trying to charge back into contention. There you see some action in the pack.
There's Van May moving to the inside in turn 3 on your screen. May looking to improve his position as the track is starting to dry out a bit, Bruce.
Could be good news for the small block runners.
And right now, Scotty Haas, Dan Dietrich, and Steve Smith Jr. running 1, 2, 3 in a parade of small blocks.
Greg, I want to tell you, Doug Wolfgang has passed an awful lot of race cars. Let's see if we can find his position on the grid at this time. He's up to 8th. Greg, the man started 22nd. He's now up to 8th in the Weicker car, challenging Billy Howard for 7th right now.
And there you see Wolfgang moving by Billy Howard. And he is on his way, but look at the battle here for the number 1 spot.
Stevie Smith Jr. moving into contention, Greg, not too far back in 3rd.
And Dietrich is starting to close in on Scott Haas. We mentioned at the top of the program that Dan Dietrich, we're looking for big things from him at the end of the season, and he is running 2nd with his eye on the lead. There you see Haas taking the high line out of 4. Dietrich will look to the inside, but he basically will follow Haas now in the higher groove. Now Dietrich has closed right up on him, Bruce.
Good racing here between Haas and Dietrich. Dietrich seems determined to go around the outside of Scotty Haas, and Haas is running a high groove himself. He seems like he'll have none of it.
And I don't believe Dietrich can work that low groove in 3 and 4. He is trying the inside move in 1 and 2, but something.
Dietrich out of shape, loses the spot to Stevie Smith Jr. And Greg, guess who's back in contention? Van May has just passed Kaufman and entered the top 5.
I'll tell you what, watch out for Van May. We talked of him earlier, but right now, Scott Haas.
Stevie Smith, Dietrich, Van May moves ahead of Mimi DeSantis into 4th.
Great
DeSantis 5th, Kaufman 6th, Wolfgang now up to 7th.
Van May is charging, Bruce. He is really coming strong. A tremendous charge by Van May, who is now running 4th and looking.
Closing on Dan Dietrich.
Not only is he closing, Bruce, he's really, catching the 3 leaders as Dietrich now tries to get by Steve Smith Jr. on the inside, going to turn 3, and he may have that position. Smith back on the outside.
Got a yellow flag, Greg. The yellow flag is out. Frankie Kerr comes to a stop on the front stretch. The K54 brought to a halt just before the entrance to turn number 1. Greg, I want to tell you, I think the fastest car on the racetrack may at this point be the Weichert's Livestock number 29. Wolfgang started 22nd. He is up to 7th and challenging.
And I'll tell you, the charge put on by Van May, very creditable. He is just flying, running 4th. He was catching Dietrich and Smith, who were battling for the 2nd position. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Van May making some bold moves here when the race resumes in just a minute. Let's take a quick break here, Bruce. We'll be right back after this word from our friends at York Chrysler Plymouth. We're in the 25-lap feature event. We are under yellow. Bruce, you really have to give Scott Hawes credit.
Yes, Scotty, not a regular competitor at Williams Grove in the sense that he isn't here every week, but he's been here frequently enough this year to learn the track. I think if Scotty had been here a little more often this year, he'd be a prime candidate for Rookie of the Year, as well as that kid running behind him, the 18-year-old recent high school graduate, Stevie Smith Jr., certainly a front runner for Rookie of the Year honor. Stevie Smith, a former feature winner this season, looking for his second tonight. Dan Dietrich, running third, looking very strong. Of course, we've got Van May in fourth. As you mentioned earlier, Greg, the track is drying out. We wonder if that will be an advantage to little Stevie with a small block number 19, a Creasy Science special.
Well, if he's anything like his father, it will be an advantage to him because his father, one of the best in the country driving a dry, slick track, and he'll be looking to get around Scott Hawes, but let's watch Dietrich and Van May also.
The pace car is coming in. We've got 11 laps complete, 14 more to go, and the green flag is out. Cars bunching up there coming off turn 4. Stevie Smith leads. Hoffman got a good jump on that, Greg. Past Mimi DeSantis up into 4th spot now. And here comes Keith Kaufman down the backstretch.
Yellow is out. Yellow is out. I believe that the tempo of that restart was not taken by Scott Hawes. Now, it is up to the leader to set the tempo on the restart. Scott Hawes never did get on the gas. They just blew right by him. And he is coming back up into the lead position, Hawes in the Ed Powell number 1. And I believe Butch Book wants another start.
And I don't think we can blame him. That was certainly not one of the better starts of the season at Williams Grove. Hawes will get the pole back, and as you said, it's up to Scotty to drop the hammer first, and it just didn't happen that time. The car's really bunched up coming off of 4.
Bruce, there are 2 poles there, and it is when the cars are between those 2 poles that the leader can then drop the hammer.
That's correct.
So, Scott Hawes out of Hamburg, your leader, Steve Smith second, Dietrich third, Van May is 4th, DeSantis 5th.
We try it again.
6th. Here we go. Now, Hawes definitely
much
quicker.
Better start that time.
Very good start.
Scotty Hawes and Stevie Smith Jr. battling side by side down the front stretch. Little Stevie has taken the lead into the turn. Let's see if Scotty can get it back coming down the backstretch.
Oh!
Look out!
Scotty
Hawes into the fence and upside down.
Oh! And another car. That
Dave Haight crashes into the disabled racer of Scotty Hawes. Greg, I think we can say we can see it coming off turn 2. The car's running very close together. Let's hope Scotty Hawes is okay. Certainly his crash wasn't that bad, but when Dave Haight got into him, now we've just got to hold our breath. The red flag is out. The race has come to a stop.
Scott Hawes got out of shape. He tried to get back down on Dietrich to take that high group. Dietrich basically moved up on him. He hit the wheel, went head on into the fence. The car then came to a stop. It wasn't that hard of an impact, but Haight had nowhere to go. He was running high, and he just locked it up and went right into the stricken Scott Hawes, and we're certainly hoping everything is okay down there. Of course, this is... We're going to
go to an instant replay of this incident, and let's see if we can determine just what happened.
And we'll have that in just a second. The ambulance is on the scene. The first aid crew is there. We want to remind everyone that we have trained people here to take care of problems like this. This is a part of racing that we all have to deal with. Scott Hawes was just sitting there and got nailed pretty hard by Haight, and they are now attending Scott Hawes, who was your race leader when the accident occurred.
And really a brilliant drive by Scotty Hawes to this point. Stevie Smith had slipped by him on the front stretch at the start. Scotty had the faster, high groove coming through 1 and 2. Looked like he was going to slingshot back ahead of Stevie. The 2 cars got together. Scotty Hawes into the fence, upside down, and then Dave Haight crashing into him.
All right, let's take a look at the replay. Again, Scott Hawes involved in a crash here with Dave Haight. There you see...
Okay, there's Stevie Smith on the inside, Scotty Hawes on the outside. Scotty slingshotting off that turn, and you're going to see contact just about now. There's the contact between the 2 leaders. Scotty Hawes into the fence, and you'll see the car get off its wheels. Not a tremendously hard impact. Scotty turns it on its side, didn't even make a complete flip, and now you'll see Dave Haight coming out of nowhere and contact.
Right there, And of course,
And
we have
Greg,
just
we
gotten
just
word.
received.
Everything is, Scott Hawes is okay, and that is wonderful, Bruce. Great news. Scott Hawes is okay. And Dan Dietrich running second. A great performance tonight from him, but look who's lurking in third, Bruce Van May.
Well, Greg, we've got 14 exciting laps coming up. You've mentioned the first three. Behind them, you've got Mimi DeSantis, who is always exciting, Keith Kaufman in fifth, Doug Wolfgang sixth. You've got a 6-car race for these last 14 laps. I'll tell you, Greg, Stevie Smith Jr. and Dan Dietrich are two very difficult drivers to get by. Van May, a master at passing, and if anybody can get by them, certainly Van May can do it. Keith Kaufman and Wolfgang, also good passers. We've got a very exciting race coming up. There's no question about it.
And of the three top cars, I would have to say Van May is probably sitting on a little bit more horsepower than the two cars in front of him. But again, it's getting the horsepower to the ground and finding a way around the leading cars. And when the track is dry and hard, it gets a little bit tougher.
The track is very dry and hard tonight. With the moisture in the air, we expected the track to stay tacky. It did not. The track has dried out considerably. Stevie Smith and Dietrich fast in the small blocks. Of course, Van May has conquered the hard track many times this season. Let's see what happens. Stevie Smith getting a good jump on the start.
I'll say he got a big jump. He actually started before the pole, but the green flag is out, and Dietrich and Van May now will battle for second as Steve Smith Jr. opens up a good lead.
Give little Stevie
place.
credit, Greg. He outfoxed the veterans on that one. He really got a jump on the start. Has opened up perhaps a 12-car length lead at this point. Looking very strong. Maybe headed for win number 2 this season.
Absolutely. He did catch him sleeping, Bruce, and when you can do that, you do it. And he did it, and there Dietrich having problems.
Van May pulls alongside of Dietrich on the backstretch. Dietrich and Van May side by side. Van dives into the third turn. Dietrich on the outside.
Dietrich gets high. He's upside down. Dan Dietrich upside down in turn 3 and 4. Got into the guardrail. Did not want to give up that position, Bruce. He got upside down, flipped about 2 or 3 times.
Well, Van appeared to have the spot. As you said, Dietrich did not want to give up the spot. Really went deep into the third turn on the outside, lost control, got into the fence, and you saw the end result.
And Dan Dietrich, of course, was running a great race here tonight. He had been having a little bit of trouble in that high groove. The car was bobbling a bit. Right now we see the first aid crew on the scene, and I believe the way it looks, Dan Dietrich is getting out of the car.
Well, Greg, we certainly hope Dan is okay, and fortunately, everyone else missed him. No one made contact with the flipping car of Dan Dietrich.
He's okay.
Dan Dietrich is okay, and we've got that on replay. Let's see if we can get that again. Here we see Van May moving along the inside of Dietrich on the backstretch. Van drives right past him. It appears that Van has the position. Dietrich will not concede the spot, really takes it deep into the turn. Car starts to get away on Dietrich right here, heads straight for the guardrail, into the fence. Watch what happens from this point. Dietrich gets the car off its wheels, and you're going to see the first flip coming right now. DeSantis driving past, Dietrich going over twice, end over end. Spectacular flip down there in the turn by Dietrich.
And they are really very hard on the driver. I mean, the driver of a sprint car can really take a beating here.
Pennsylvania, Stevie Smith Jr. leading with the veteran from Hanover, Van May, right behind him. There you see little Stevie in car number 19. Look how close Van May is. Greg, what do you think could be going through Stevie Smith's mind at this point? He's got a veteran behind him. The race is under a caution period right now. Greg, what do you say we ask Stevie Smith Jr. what goes through his mind when he's leading a race and the caution flag comes out? Let's hear from Stevie Smith Jr. right now.
Well, the only thing you can just hope that you have the fastest car so no one else can go around you, and you got to try not to mess it up. If you have the lead and you can build up a lead, then it's a lot less pressure off of you, really.
There you see him in his race car this time, Stevie Smith Jr. Van May second, Mimi DeSantis third, Keith Kaufman fourth, and Doug Wolfgang fifth. 12 laps down, 13 laps to go. Can the kid hold off the veteran, Greg?
That is the name of the game right now. It will be an interesting dash to the finish because Van May will probably try every trick in the book to get by the rookie driver. And if anybody is pressuring you, and you know it's Van May on top of it, you really have your work cut out. So we'll find out if the kid can do it, if he can hold off Van May. Van May, I believe, has some more horsepower. I think Van May is going to find a way around the kid.
Well, Greg, if we have any viewers who have tuned in within the last few minutes, maybe we can show them one more time the reason that the cars are under caution. Let's see the Dan Dietrich crash just one more time. There you see them again on the backstretch. Dan Dietrich and Van May racing for second place. Van appears to have the position. Dietrich will not concede the position. Dietrich charges hard into turn 3. The car gets away from him. At this point, Dietrich catches the fence with the tail end of his car, starts a series of flips. You'll see the wing coming loose. Watch Mimi DeSantis slide past him within inches, really. End over end goes Dietrich. Hard, jolting crash. Watch how close Billy Howard comes to him if we can go a little bit further. Look at that, Greg, how close Billy Howard came, but there was no contact. Dietrich, okay, of course the car is out of the race, and cars are lining up for a restart.
You know, you really should point out that the drivers who are behind that crash really have their work cut out for them to keep their cars away from the stricken car. Of course, in the crash prior to that, Hawes and Haight really didn't have anywhere to go. But a great job done by all the drivers to stay away from Dan Dietrich in that crash. Really, they all deserve credit.
Getting back to the situation at hand, if history repeats itself, and if we know Van May, he is going to make a low dive into turn 1 at the start. He is going to try to slide up into the high groove ahead of Stevie Smith Jr. I'm sure Stevie knows it's coming. Let's see what happens. Stevie Smith again gets a good jump.
And look at Wolfgang moving into third.
Let's see if Van tries it. Not that time. He stays high.
Van May and Steve Smith Jr. will battle here now to the checkered flag. We have a great battle going for third, but right now let's watch Van May looking to the inside.
We'll see the cross flags this time around. The race has reached the halfway point. Watch Van to the inside now.
He's got it, Bruce.
There he goes, just as we called it, up to the top groove.
A clean pass by Van May. Now watch him go. Big block, power of Van May.
Van, the master of that move, Greg. No one has done that better than Van this season. He's seeking win number 5.
Bruce, Van May is the only driver with that big block who seems to be unaffected by the track surface, regardless of whether it's sticky or tacky or dry or hard. Van May always seems to go.
Well, Van is going right now. He appears to be long gone, but with Van, it's always a question of will the race car finish. If it does, there's no question he's got the fastest car on the track at this point. Greg, some action further back in the pack. Wolfgang passed Kaufman at the start for 4th position. Kaufman took it away from him again. Kaufman now challenging Mimi DeSantis for 3rd. There you see the battle for 3rd. Remember, if Kaufman can stay in the position in which he is running at this time, he will set one record tonight, that for most top 5 finishes in a single season.
And the Hamilton team can be very proud of that record. That is a very, very difficult accomplishment. And right now, Keith Kaufman has that record in his back pocket.
And there's your race leader, Van May, stretching the lead over Stevie Smith Jr., Mimi DeSantis 3rd, Kaufman 4th. Van running comfortably now. He's still looking for cushion, running the high groove, just breezing down the backstretch right now and into turn 3.
There's your battle between Mimi DeSantis and Keith Kaufman for the 3rd position. DeSantis running a very good race here, Bruce.
He certainly is. Mimi DeSantis has come a long way as a sprint car driver this season.
Van May is driving in the high groove. They're running up in the cushion. It's very dry and slick, one groove down. So most of the drivers running a groove higher than the dry, slick route around here. And there's your leader, Van May, formerly out of El Paso, Texas.
Van May right now appears to be out for a Sunday drive. He's moving through, there you see him lapping French Grimes. Down the backstretch, the Sterner Cement Ben Cook car. Really looking sharp tonight. Van moving off turn 4. Flicking off the laps. Looking for victory number 5 at Williams Grove. And a chance to move well up into the point standings here also. The final point race of the season.
5 laps to go, Bruce. 5 to go.
Stevie Smith Jr. running comfortably in second. Still a good race for third. Mimi DeSantis, Kaufman, and Wolfgang battling for that third spot. There you see them on your screen. DeSantis, the yellow car in third, followed by Kaufman and Wolfgang.
So it's been a great year for Ben Cook. In the year of the gambler, I guess you could say, Bruce, many owners buying gambler chassis. Ben Cook has established himself in central Pennsylvania, especially with the 2 drivers, your race leader Van May and the always fast Maynard Yanks. It's been a great year for Cook.
Right now, Ben Cook has 5 gamblers following his race car, and I'm sure that makes him pretty happy. Van May, almost an altercation with Alan Klinger on the backstretch. Klinger slid high, Van May very close to Klinger, but he gets around him, and he's looking at the 2-lap sign right now from starter Butch Book.
And there it is, 2 to go.
1 mile from a $2,200 payday for Van May.
All by his lonesome, I should say, actually receiving no challenge from anyone on the track. His only job right now to get by the lap traffic. White flag is out. Butch Book gives the white flag to Van May. 1 lap to go. He's in turn 1, looking for another win on Cable 4. I talked to him earlier tonight, Bruce. I said, Van, I guess whenever we're on TV, things are going to go your way. He said, yeah, it's funny. Every time we're on TV, I seem to run good if the car holds together. Checkered
held
flag
together
is out.
tonight, Greg. Van May has won the feature at Williams Grove.
All right, Van May.
Finishing second, Stevie Smith Jr., a good ride for the rookie. Mimi DeSantis third. Kaufman finishes 4th, and Doug Wolfgang completes the top 5. Greg, a record-breaking performance for Kaufman, his 24th top 5 finish of the season, a new track record at Williams Grove.
All right, we'll be right back. Let's hold on just 1 second before we break and just mention, Bruce, how many wins now for Van May?
This is Van's 5th of the season, and I believe the 14th of his career here at Williams Grove. Van is among the top 10 now at Williams Grove in career wins.
But there's no doubt Van May has never had a year where he has won 5 features in 1 year at the Grove.
I couldn't say that for sure, Greg, but I would think that is probably correct. I believe he entered this season with just 9 feature wins, so he's up to 14 now. I'm sure Van has never won 5 in a season at Williams Grove before.
And the fans certainly enjoying that victory. They're on their feet, especially when he came down for the checkered flag. Giving a great round of applause now to the driver who has scored win number 5 here at Williams Grove.
Well, you see Van moving down into victory lane right now on your screen, and we'll be going down there to talk to Van May after this word from York Chrysler Plymouth.
Scoring win number 5. There you see the style he showed here tonight, coming through turns 3 and 4, looking for Butch Book. And the checkered flag, the Sterner Construction, car number 69, powered by what Van termed a very big block. There's the checkered flag, and we're about ready to go down for the victory lane ceremony. And I'm with John Marshall right now, and John, you had to be quite excited about that race.
I was. You know, we love Van May. Everybody loves Van.
Sure.
But I myself was rooting for Scotty Haas all the way, and Dan Dietrich, and both boys had their problems. So let's take a look down here with Bruce Ellis and Van May.
We're in victory lane at Williams Grove Speedway with the winner of tonight's 25-lap sprint car feature, Van May. Van, congratulations.
Thank you, Bruce.
Van, you know, for a while we thought the 69 may be in the pit area and not in this race tonight. You made a pit stop, or at least you stopped on the track at the pit entrance just while the cars were lining up on the track. What happened?
Well, the left rear spinner nut stripped off, apparently. I went out there and the wheel was wobbling pretty bad. It just last Friday night, I went out there and I thought the wheel was kind of low air pressure, and I dropped out leading the race because my tire went flat. So I was concerned with it, and I looked down and my wheel was definitely loose. We came in and we tried to tighten it, and I went back out again, but it was stripped. So Jeff buyers knew where our spare parts was, and we went and hustled one up. We changed it out. I was just lucky because I think that was the lap that they were about to put the alternate in. In other words, if I hadn't got out of the way and onto the racetrack, I'm pretty sure that the 7 laps was up and the alternate would have gone in.
Van, you know, they say the brakes go both ways in sprint car racing. You've dropped out of a couple while leading. Tonight, maybe you got a break.
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty lucky. Just in general, you're always lucky when you start in the middle of the pack and get through the front without tearing your car up. My car's working nice. I've been lucky. I got some brakes go my way. Cars that crash in front of me miss me, and cars that crash beside me miss me. So I've been really lucky. I can't honestly say that anything's going too bad at all right now.
Van, is this your best year in racing?
I'd have to say it was the best year money-wise. I haven't won as many features this year as I had at one time, but we were winning features at $900 a shot when I won more, and this year's not even over yet. So I'd have to say that this is definitely my best year.
Well, Van, they don't pay $900 to win anymore. It's $2,200 tonight. Maybe we'll see you again next week.
I'll try to count it. Thank you.
Back to the tower with John and Greg.
Greg, that feature win by Van May was something spectacular. Our camera crew, our directorship, they did a whale of a job. They caught 2 nasty accidents. We don't like to see anybody hurt, but they picked the whole thing up.
Yes, they did. They've really done a great job with the cameras this year, and I'm just so happy no one was injured in the crashes. Auto racing crashes are a part of the game, but the safety features really made the difference here tonight.
Block modified.
Okay, they're going to get the green flag right now, but it's a 339 cubic inch limit, single 4-barrel carburetor. Transmissions are utilized. They're self-starting, a lot heavier than sprint cars, but they're very exciting as Butch Book drops the green flag. We are underway, and look who has vaulted to the lead, Van May, but the yellow flag comes out. Evidently, starter Butch Book not satisfied with the start. Van May was up front, John.
Right, Van May, the first time he's set a foot in it tonight on a heat race, he come right out, he won a sprint heat, he jumped right over in this next car, and he come right out within about 15 minutes, and he got in this modified, and he says to me, I don't know what I'm going to do, but he got out there and he won, going away.
He sure did know what to do once he got on the track, John. He just ran away with the heat race, so we're looking for a complete restart. The pole position car, Dave Schaafstall, car 77. He is from Tremont, Pennsylvania, a standout in this division, although the last few years have been some lean years for him. He did win a feature this year at the Big Diamond Raceway. These cars for the green flag. May on the outside. Dave Schaafstall will work the inside. Green flag is waving as Schaafstall now vaults into the lead. Van May will work the outside into turn 1. Van May taking the high road, but it is Schaafstall. And moving into second, Ronnie Tobias. Van May falls into third with Paul Latier running fourth. They're looking to complete 1 lap, John. They're all bunched up moving into that turn.
As we notice on the top, Tobias, brother of Scott. And then we also know Paul Latier and Van May, both sprint drivers.
Billy Schinkel now moving into that 4th position, car 714. Billy from Llewellyn, and Dave Schaafstall coming to a stop in turn 2. That will bring out the yellow, and Ronnie Tobias inherits the lead as the race leader on your screen right now. The 77 of Dave Schaafstall comes to a stop. Tough break for him. He was leading the race.
Tobias in the lead car, and there's the green flag waves.
Van May looking high to get by Ron Tobias, but he's not going to work up there as May comes off the 4th turn. In second, Ronnie Tobias, your race leader. Van May runs second. Billy Schinkel, a fine performance for third. And Kenny Brightbill, Mr. Excitement, running in 4th out of Sinking Springs, Pennsylvania.
Latier following in the 5th spot.
Quite a few of the sprint car drivers, John, started out in small block modifieds. Paul Latier was a big winner. Scott Tobias started out there. Paul Kuck. Many drivers cutting their teeth in the small block modified division.
And Craig Von Doren is starting to make a move a little bit back there, Greg, in the 7th spot.
Yes, he is starting to pressure Paul Latier. He's moving around Latier on the high side. There you see him just coming into your picture, the red car. But your race, a yellow flag is out. We have another incident in turn number 3. A car spinning. off the track. Ronnie Tobias drops the hammer. Van May looks to the outside, trying to find a way to get by into the lead, but not this time, as Ronnie Tobias assumes his leadership role in this race. Van May running second. Schinkel now third and looking to the outside of Van May for that second position. Great racing here, John.
Sure is. The names aren't so familiar with us, Greg, but they're coming back to you. I can see that right now.
Oh yeah, I called these races every Friday night for 2 years, so I do remember quite a few. And another crash in turn 3, another spin. Car getting sideways.
Number 26 of Keith Carl.
Keith Carl getting around up there in turn 3. Tobias, the race leader, as Van May continues to look for a way to get around Ronnie Tobias for the lead. Third place, Billy Schinkel. Fourth is Craig Von Dorn. He looks very good, and we don't see Kenny Brightville. Brightville is dropping off the pace. He was running in the 4th position. He has dropped back to 11th or 12th spot, so Brightville is having problems. There's Tobias, Van May, Billy Schinkel, and Craig Von Duren running under a blanket here at Williams Grove. And you know, John, these drivers would really like to win at Williams Grove because, let's face it, Williams Grove is one of the most popular short tracks in the United States.
Boy, that 4th turn, Greg, has given everybody a little bit of problems up there.
Yes, 4th turn is causing quite a few problems.
Caution is
Yellow
out.
flag. May on the inside. A big move, Van May. Can he do it? Yes, Van May is leading the small block modified feature.
He took the lead in the sprints with the same move, Greg.
Unbelievable. Can Van May win 2 races here tonight? He's looking good, John. Oh, boy.
Boy, he's got her down. He got the hammer down now.
You know, I hate to make it sound like we have a favorite out here, but I know every sprint car fan is pulling for Van May to win here tonight. He has very little experience. From what we understand, this is his first time in a car like this, and he's out there pacing the field.
He's got the touch tonight. Van has said if Van would have won all the races that he led in, Greg, where his engine quit on him, he would be on top here tonight.
And he definitely is on top here, has about a 7 or 6 car length lead over Ronnie Tobias. He's taken that high line, as you see there, through turn 4. Tobias now closing in a bit, but Van May seems to have the better setup car for the straightaways, has a little more power, and through turns 1 and 2. He seems to be working very well there. There you can see he opens up on Ronnie Tobias.
And 3rd spot, we have the 714 of Billy Schinkel.
Schinkel doing a fine job here in his first Grove appearance.
4th is Craig Von Dorn. He had a little trouble there he got off the pace, but now he's picking it back up.
Van May is stretching this lead out right now. He has opened up the lead over Ronnie Tobias. A good-looking car 134. Van May, and we have a yellow flag, another yellow. This is like the 5th yellow of the race, John. And, you know, we've talked to a lot of drivers when the yellow comes out, what they think. John Marshall, I wonder what you think when the yellow flag comes out. Let's find out.
Uh-oh.
When I see the yellow light, first of all, I'm not out on the speedway, but when I see a yellow light, I put on them brakes because I know the red's coming.
You're not supposed to say you're not on the speedway.
I'm
Just
on the
say,
speedway.
I know the red's coming next.
Hey, Mom, help.
Van May, your race leader, car 134. And the way it looks right now, barring any mechanical misfortune, John, he looks like he's got the field covered.
He does. He's followed out there by Tobias, Schinkel, Van Doren, Eckert, and Latier.
Van May, who has won in midgets, he has won in sprint cars, he has, I hope to say, going to win in small block modifieds. If he does win, we're going to have an interview with him here tonight. The 2-lap sign should be coming out shortly, John.
Van is an outstanding interview.
And we'll really find out the big difference between a modified and a sprint car. Here's the 2-lap sign for Van May.
Powered by Tobias, Schinkel, Van Doren, Eckert, Latier. Into the fence on the first turn, but he got out of there. Number
Van May looking for the white flag, John. This is going to be a great night for him. He's bringing the car through turn 4. White flag is out, John. Let's have John Marshall follow Van May around.
There he goes, the checkered flag as Greg Zala gets out of here. He's going down and talk to Van May on the final lap. A double for Van May tonight. And here comes your winner off the 4th turn. The crowd is standing on their feet. Van May takes a checkered, and his first time ever driving the modifieds. He won his heat, and he comes back and wins the 20-lap feature. There's a good look at Van in the 134, followed across the line by Ronnie Tobias. Schenkel, Van Doren, Eckert, and Paul Atier. 2 sprint car racers up in the top 6 finishers tonight. Beautiful night for racing here at Williams Grove Speedway. See Van May for the 2nd time coming into victory lane, and we're going to go right down there, and we're going to have a talk with Greg Zala. Greg is doing, along with Bruce Ellis, has been doing an outstanding job here as voice of Cable 4 and dirt track racing in central Pennsylvania. And fans, this will be a good chance to see Greg on a interview with a feature winner tonight. I'd like to thank the camera crew tonight. They did a whale of a job. Appreciate Bill Bellamere for directorship, Dave Klaglinski for working the pit camera, and Cable 4 York for being able to bring this to you with the sponsorship of York Chrysler Plymouth, 1305 Roosevelt Avenue, York, Pennsylvania. Let's go down to Greg Zala and his interview with Van May in Victory Lane.
We're here with Van May, an unbelievable night tonight. He won the 25-lap sprint car feature. He turns around, comes right back. Van, this is your first career win in a small block modified?
Right, this is the first time I've ever been in one, was tonight in the heat race.
All right, so this is the first time Van May has ever driven a small block modified. That is true. Van, you've won in midgets. Now this, a modified. Can you tell our viewers the difference, the big difference between, say, handling a sprint car and a small block modified?
Well, these things are kind of helpless as far as getting you out of trouble. If you get crooked, you just kill all your speed, whereas sprint cars got all that brute torque that'll a lot of times straighten you up, get you out of trouble. You can run into rough a lot more. These things, the track got to be pretty well suited for them by feature time because it was smooth and black. It's kind of like asphalt. You have to run right up against the brown, against the cushion. I mean, I didn't try running down on the bottom very much at all, but I just did what it felt, and it definitely didn't feel like it wanted to run through the black. It felt like I had to be up against the wall, and it would have made tough, passing kind of tough. I was lucky I started in front enough that I didn't have to try to get through a bunch of traffic and drop down off the bottom. I only dropped down off the top one time when I got Ronnie back. I screwed up. That was Ronnie, wasn't it?
Ronnie, yeah.
I screwed up once, and he got me. I went in there and I stomped the brake, and it was a clutch, and I missed everything and slid out of shape and everything, and I just lucky enough not to get crashed. And then I came back and got my head back together and straightened it out, and the car was actually pretty fast feeling. I could pull on the straightaway, pretty good, and that's what tells the story. I mean, you got to go through the corner fast, no question about it, but when you go down the straightaway fast, it just makes it gravy for the driver.
Van, Dave Hansen had never won a race as a car owner. He hasn't been a car owner that long. He's really excited. Did you have any idea when the night started you'd win your 19th career win in a sprint car,
and number 1 in a small block modified.
No, I came here really actually thinking that my sprint car was going to be as competitive as anybody's. For the past 2 months, it's been about as fast. If I finish, I came thinking my sprint car was going to be good if I didn't screw up. Well, this particular deal, I came completely green. I had no idea what I was going to get into at all. I jumped in the guy's late model one time, and it's one of those type things. He said, look, all this thing needs is a driver, and that's scary when they do that. When they tell you that all they need is a driver, you're in trouble. But this guy said it was a good car, and it was a good car, and I'm glad it all worked out well.
Van, tonight is your night. An unbelievable night here tonight. Van May winning both feature events. We're happy for him. The big talk this year has been Keith Kaufman. 30 wins. They deserve all the credit they got. But this guy right here, Van May, has had one tremendous season. We're going to end our show tonight. Want to thank all Cable 4 viewers for watching again. Tune in again next week for Cable 4's Dirt Track Racing 84.